Hi everybody, this is Vivian from VB Designs and I'm back again. I believe this is part 4 of the Dollar Tree Junk Journal that Paper Terrace has challenged everyone to. And you can check out her web or her YouTube channel at Paper Terrace. You can also do the hashtag Paper Terrace DT JJ. And there you'll find different videos of all the individuals who are participating. And I am enjoying watching their videos. I'm having a great time. I want to thank Jessica for putting this challenge on. It has been really fun. Frustrating a couple of times for me, but other than that, I've been having a great time, and I've been loving watching everyone else's process with their junk journals. Now, I'm kind of holding back on watching some of the videos until after the challenge, because I want to be able to challenge myself with just the things that I purchased and my knowledge, and kind of pushing myself with some boundaries here without, I don't want to say being influenced by other videos, but I don't want to get to where I'm taking bits of things that other people are doing and incorporating it into my journal. I want this to be just from my own imagination and my experiences and what I know how to do. So today I promised that we were going to do the faux rice paper, and so I'm going to get started. But in the meantime, please excuse my fingers. Today I'm wearing green because I've been dyeing papers, and so this morning I was dyeing green, and of course they have a tendency to want to stain your fingers when you do it. I know some people use gloves, but I'm not one of those people, unfortunately. I'm one of these people, I like to get my hands dirty. And so right now I have green tips on my fingernails. Yesterday they were pink, and the day before that they were yellow, and tonight they'll either be purple or blue. So until I get all my papers dyed, and I'm also coffee dyeing, I'm going to hold off doing a complete manicure on my hands. So today I have green fingernails. And I know one of my items that I purchased was a napkin, and I had purchased this Happy Spring napkin. I thought it was really cute, and I liked it, and I was going to incorporate it. But then I was going through some of my stash, and I came across this napkin design, and I know that I got these at Dollar Tree. So I like this better. It goes better with the color scheme. And so I'm going to use this napkin. And what I'm going to do is just kind of show you guys how I do faux rice paper. Now, there's a lot of different videos out there on making faux rice paper. So, you know, everyone has a little bit of different ways they do it. Some people use Mod Podge. Some people use some kind of medium. I make my own. Mod Podge can be very expensive, and I found over the years that, you know, and I've been doing this for a while, using different types of items and things in my crafting, and so I found that I learned to make my own medium. And so what I use, and I put it in this mason jar, is a mixture of white glue. It can be any kind of school glue, Elmer's glue. It just has to be your standard white glue. And I mix it with water. The ratio that I use is 2/3 parts of white glue to 1/3 part of water. And I start with that, and I'll mix it. Now, if for some reason the glue that I'm using might be a little thicker than another type of white glue, I might add some more water till I get the consistency of a very runny glue. And when I open this jar, I'll give you a looky-see here. So it depends on your glue. You can kind of play around with it if you need it. If it's too watery, you can add a little bit more glue till you get that consistency, and you want it to be very, very spreadable. And so I make my own medium mix, and it has more of a matte finish. And like I said, I've been making this for years, so I'm very comfortable using this. But if you don't want to do this, you can use a matte, or you can use the matte hodgepodge that you can purchase most places. So today we're going to get started, and I'm going to show you how I do my faux rice paper. And I use faux rice paper in my junk journals and a lot of other things all the time. So this isn't anything new to me. And like I said, there's a lot of YouTubers out there that make their own rice paper. So you can always go and check out on YouTube their techniques too. But you start out with a napkin. Most napkins are either 2 or 3 ply. This one is 2 ply because Dollar Tree, very rarely do they ever have a 3 ply napkin. So this one is actually a 2 ply, and you've got to separate them. And the easiest way to separate them is just take a piece of, and you know what, I might do that because I have plenty of napkins. I use both pieces when I junk journal. I use the printed one, and then I use the one on the back. But you can take a piece of tape. It can be masking tape here. It can be washi tape. It can be, you know, Scotch tape, whatever kind of tape you have. You just set it down on the back, and you just do a quick pull, and it will separate for you. Now, like I said, I don't do this very often because I do know that I use this white piece as well. But today, for the sake of time, I'm just going to do the top one. So I've separated my 2 ply napkin, and I have this very pretty design that I'm going to put on a piece of, and this is important, a piece of freezer paper. And it has to be freezer paper. If you look at other YouTubers, some of them use trash bags. Some of them use the plastic grocery bags. You cannot use wax paper. You cannot use parchment paper or any other type of paper. It has to have a plastic coating on the front. Because when you use your medium and you adhere your napkin to the paper, it has to be able to peel off after it dries. And if you use anything other than something that has a plastic coating on it, it will stick to that, and you will not be able to peel it off. So the basic rule you have to remember is to use freezer paper or wax paper, or not wax paper, I'm sorry, freezer paper or some kind of paper, or like, again, your trash bags. People have used those. Grocery bags. I've seen them use other things. So, like I said, if you check out other YouTube channels, you'll find various papers that they will lay down to adhere the napkin to. Again, I just use your standard freezer paper, and I get this at Walmart, and it's the Reynolds, and it says plastic coated freezer paper. So you just want to remember that, and this is what I use. Next thing I do, of course, is open up my jar, and let's hope it's not glued, and I can get it opened. Aha! Open up my jar of medium, and I don't know if you can see that. Let me get my brush out, and I'll kind of give you an idea. I don't have another little small container handy that I can pour it in to show you. I'm just taking it right out of the jar itself. But it's pretty runny. See, it kind of drips. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it does drip. So it's kind of runny. And what I do is I kind of figure out where my napkin is on here. Some people will draw little lines, you know, where they're, you know, for the size of their napkin. I don't. But some people do, so they have an idea of where they can put their glue. The first thing you want to do is take your medium and you want to put it down on your paper. And you definitely want to get a good amount. You don't want to saturate it, but you want to be able to put it down. Now, unfortunately, I doubt if you can really see how much I'm putting down because I'm using a white freezer paper, and of course I don't have any kind of stain in my medium. You can put coffee in it and give it that distressed look. You can put other colors in it if you so choose, just to have that little bit of color. Now, maybe one of these days I might do a video on using the coffee dye, the tea dye, some other dyes, just to show the variations of what that would look like. But I'm just using plain old white today. And again, that ratio is 2/3 glue to 1/3 water. And you want to cover the area the size of your napkin, and maybe go over just a little bit on the edges here, but you want to get a nice coat down. And this goes pretty quickly. This isn't something that, you know, you can knock out quite a few of these in a short period of time if you want to do more than one. I'm just showing you one today for time's sake, and it's not hard. It looks scary when you first see somebody to do this, but it's really not hard because a lot of people are afraid to put down a lot of glue, and others just pour it on. I don't pour it on, and make sure you've got a good amount of glue. You want to be able to see that glue because it does dry quickly when you first put it down. But you want to make sure you've got your whole area covered with glue, the size of your napkin. Now that we have that done, the next thing you need to do is grab your napkin, and I've got it right here, and you want to gently lay it down. Now, you're not going to get it completely flat. It's going to have a little bit of crease or wrinkles in it. That's okay, because that makes it look more like rice paper to me. Some people have a problem with that. So if you want it to be as wrinkle-free as possible, I find that I can't do it by myself. But if you have somebody else to help you, one person can grab 2 corners, another person can grab 2 corners, and you can very carefully lay it down like this. And it's pretty, it works pretty good. Me, I just put it down like this, just lay it down, and just leave it alone. You know, again, there's a few wrinkles, but I don't worry about that, because the next step you're going to do is you're going to take your medium again. You're going to dip your brush in it, and you're going to start from the center and work your way out. And you very lightly want to push down and push that medium onto your napkin. And you can see as you do that, hopefully, that the wrinkles kind of flatten out a little bit. You'll get maybe some air bubbles, but they will also flatten out. And you just want to go all the way from the center to the edge of your napkin and a little bit beyond, because there is a second part after you get the glue on that you want to do to make releasing your napkin a lot easier. And of course, I picked that little trick up a long time ago, and I like it. And so when we get done putting this napkin down, by the magic of television, as they say, I have one that I'm going to show you how I release the napkin from the freezer paper. So right now, I'm just slowly, and I'm trying to do this as quickly as I can for time's sake. But you can be a little more slower about it. But you do want to get a good amount on your brush each time you use it. And you just keep working your way to the edges. And again, like I said, this goes pretty quick. Once you've done a couple of them and you get comfortable with how much pressure you can use on your napkin, it goes by pretty quick. Now, occasionally you might rip your napkin, but don't worry about it. This is very forgiving. You can take tear a little piece off of a napkin and set it on top and just, put some more medium over it, and it just blends right in and you don't even notice the tear. Occasionally, taking it off, you might tear it, but I don't worry about it. I just, make enough that, and depending on what I'm going to use it for, I might, just leave the tear. And if I'm putting a backing on it to use it for something else, I just glue it down and the tear usually disappears and you're okay. Other times, again, like I said, if you get that little tear while you're putting the glue on, you can repair it. So it's no biggie. And like I say, don't be afraid. It's just paper. No biggie. If it really tears badly, you can just throw it away and start over again. So play with your napkins. Have fun making rice paper. You'd be surprised. I've got some other ideas that I will do as far as similar techniques, and I will be doing those in other videos. I am with this challenge. There's so many videos out there with so many wonderful people showing you how they've put their junk journals together, that I'm not going to do every single thing, like show you how I make tags. Excuse me. I might, do a couple of things, videos, if it's something that I think might be unique or different than what other people are showing on their videos. But I'm just kind of showing this. I don't think anybody has done this technique that I know of in the challenge. But if they had, then that's great. That just gives you some more information on how to do faux rice paper. But it's fun, and it's not hard. Like I said, I'm just here throwing a little medium over it, the top. I want to make sure that I get a good coverage. After I get it adhered, I'll go back over and just double check and make sure that everything looks good. And I want to thank everybody who's watched my videos. I'm still learning, and I appreciate the patience and the really nice comments that I've been receiving, and also subscribers that have been subscribing to this. I want to, continue doing this. I'm having fun with the challenge, that's for sure. And I just want to continue doing this, and hopefully, we can all learn together. I'll take any kind of suggestions on things that other people do that they think I might appreciate knowing, because I'm always open to new things and suggestions. Even though I've been doing this for a long time, not necessarily junk journaling, but just crafting in general. I've been crafting all my life. My mother is an artist, and she does fine art, but we grew up crafting. As a child, we had a craft cabinet, and then as I got older, I had my own craft cabinet. I can remember, being 5, 6 years old and having my own craft cabinet, where I kept all my little supplies: crayons, paste, paint, papers, construction papers, you know, pictures out of magazines, all those things. So I've been doing this for years, crafting. And so this isn't anything new. I only got into junk journaling during COVID. I've seen other people do junk journaling. I was still working at the time. I was working at home. I hadn't retired yet. And, you know, of course, COVID, we were very limited on, you know, being able to leave our homes. And so I had liked, you know, and watched, you know, different YouTube channels, but I had really got into the junk journaling at that time. And so I really, you know, since 2020, got into the junk journaling more. And that's more my speed. I am not a scrapbooker. I didn't get into the scrapbooking when it first started. Now, we kept scrapbooks as kids, but what we did is just cut things out of newspapers and stuck them in a scrapbook. We didn't decorate them or anything like that. We just, anything that interested us, we kept a scrapbook. As a kid, during the time when space exploration really started, I was enthralled with astronauts. They were my heroes. Gus Grissom, I think, was probably my first hero growing up. And I used to keep a scrapbook of all the things that were going on with space. And so that was like one of my very, very first scrapbooks. Now, it looks like I've got a good covering of glue on everything. As you can see, hopefully, there is still, you know, some wrinkles, but I'm not worried about it. It's just part of the charm for me, especially when you use an all white napkin. It really makes it look like faux rice paper, or rice paper. So I feel good with that coverage. After you get your glue on and you're pretty sure that everything's been covered evenly, you want to take your brush again, and you want to take it and flatten it out kind of like this. I hope you guys can see this. And you want to get the bristles right up to the edge of your napkin, and you want to give it a little push. And the reason why you want to do this is it causes the napkin to roll up. And after the napkin dries, this gives you an edge that you can use to be able to release your napkin from the freezer paper. If you leave it drying without rolling the edge up, it will be a little harder to start, and you have more of a chance of actually tearing your napkin trying to release it. So this is just a little trick that you can do. And again, you just want to take your brush, lay it flat, and bring it right up to the edge of your napkin and just push down. And you'll see the edge will roll up. You don't have to go very far, but you want to see that edge roll up. And you just keep going all the way around the sides until you get a roll on the edge of your napkin. And again, doing this will just make it easier to allow your napkin to lift up. Now, I like the edges. When it dries, I like that rolled edge. And if I can keep it on, I will. Now, if I'm making like a envelope or something and I have to cut the edge off, that's perfectly fine. I'll do that. But if I'm leaving it whole, I'll leave the edge on. It just, again, adds that charm to your faux rice paper. So I've almost got these edges rolled up. And again, once you do this several times, it becomes easier and easier, and you can make quite a few of these at one time. The only problem is you have to have a place where you can leave them to dry, because you do want these to dry at least 24 hours. If you try to take them off before they're completely dry, again, you'll have trouble peeling it off of the paper. And some places will release, other places will stick, and you'll tear your napkin. So now that I've got the corners pushed in and everything is covered with the medium, I'm going to peel it off. Now I tape my freezer paper down on the corners because it wants to roll on you. So this way it keeps it from rolling. And I'm going to take this and set it aside and give it 24 hours to dry. And then I will be able to release it. Now, with the magic of television or YouTube, I already have one that I did. And here it is. Let's get it in frame. And I hope everything's been in frame because I have a brand new camera stand. So I'm using it for the first time. And so far, I like it. It seems to be working. Can't say much about my editing and video skills, but we'll get there on those too. So now that it's dry, what you want to do is you want to find a corner, and I'm going to also tape this down real quick because it still wants to roll, even though it's been laying flat for a day. It still wants to roll up, see? So I'm just going to quickly tape this down just for video purpose. I've been known to wrestle with my freezer paper on occasion when I'm doing this, but today I'm just going to quickly tape it down. Okay. Oh, there's a corner already started. So what you want to do is you want to start a corner, and it can be any corner. And then you want to take your finger and you just want to simply run along the edge. You don't want to do anything but just run along the edge. And you want to do that all the way around. And I'll show you why here in a minute. But you'll see that the edge is releasing pretty good. Oh, I got a little tear there. So you get a little tear like that, go to the next corner and work your way back to where that tear is. Now this can be fixed, and I think the tear was here because for some reason, I'm not going to worry about that right now because it will release itself. But I'm going to go all the way around the edge and roll. With the edge being rolled, it's a lot easier to work that edge up. If you hadn't rolled that edge with your brush before you let it dry, you would be picking at this, trying to release the edges, and that's where you would get your tears. So as you can see, I pretty much got all the edges released, except for that one tiny spot where it wanted to stick. And like I said, I'm not going to worry about that because I can take a little bit of glue and, you know, fix that with no problem. So once you get the edges released, then you want to go around and just slowly start releasing your paper. And you just want to work it gradually. You don't want to hurry this process because that's where you can get into some trouble. And if something doesn't feel like it's wanting to release very good, just put your finger or your hand under there and just help it along, and it will release from your wax paper. That's why you want to use wax paper. If you use parchment paper, or not wax paper, freezer paper. Oh, freezer paper, not wax paper, freezer paper. That's why you want to use something with a plastic coating, because you're releasing your napkin and the medium that you used, and that tore a little bit more, so I will show you how I will repair that. But it is releasing pretty good, so I'm not too worried about it. And as you release it, it gets a little easier and a little easier, and then you find that you can just kind of peel it back. If it looks like it wants to tear or stick Then again, just use your fingers and just release it like this. And just slowly, and I'm not going to do this side yet because, again, this tore right here. Well, I guess, okay, we got past the tear. You just want to use your fingers and just slowly, you know, push down under your paper. You don't want to, like, jab your finger in there, but you're just slowly releasing it. And once you get it released, it comes up and looks like this. I don't know if you can see this, but you can see my hand underneath. It is transparent. It's durable. It does tear. You can cut it, but it's durable, and you can do a lot of things with this. Now, the top part is pretty matte. It's also rough. You flip it over, you get more of a shiny side, and I don't know if you can see that on camera or not, but you have a more of a shiny side, and it's a little more smooth. Now, you can use either side, whichever side you choose. I always use the top side because it's more vibrant. Now, when I use this in a regular journal as part of a page, I'll just flip it over like this. I might cut it down a little bit, and I'll put that in as part of my signature. And because it is transparent, again, you can use it in your signature, and it will show through. This isn't a very good demonstration, but I don't have anything with designs on it in front of me right now, any scrap paper or any other type of paper. But it does show through, so you can see where it does show through. Hopefully you can see that. And so you can put something on another piece of page. Use this as part of your signature, and it will show through if you have some white. If not, it just, you know, it just kind of mixes in. But it's very pretty. It looks like rice paper. It feels like rice paper. And it works like rice paper. You can paint on it. You can write on it. You can stamp on it. So it is, you know, just another option of how you can use a napkin. You don't have to just use, you know, decoupage it, even though this is similar to decoupage. You're just using this without adhering it to something permanently. Now you can. I have taken pieces of napkins, and I've had, you know, after I've made them like this into faux rice paper, I have tore them up and, you know, glued them onto pages. So you can do a lot of various things with rice paper once you've made your own. So hopefully this video helped you a little bit, gave you some inspiration on another way of using your napkins. And I, again, appreciate everyone. And hopefully you'll stick around and see some of the other things that I do. I will be working on my Aunt Edith's purse here in the next couple of days. And once I get to a point where it's something that you might like to see that I do, I'll make another video. If not, I'll probably show you kind of my signatures. And then I don't think I'm going to do a video where I show sewing them in. There are quite a few, like I said, individuals that are doing this challenge that have showed how they've sewed their signatures into their books. And so it's pretty much the same. But if you have any questions, please leave a comment. And I will catch everybody later. Bye.